Thank you everybody for coming out. This is the last week of class. I'm very, very excited to see all of you here today. Also want to apologize for the last couple of weeks. I know that we've just like canceled class the last 2 weeks and I've kind of left you guys in the dark about everything, but hopefully your finals have been going all right. I started looking at the final projects and I've been like really, really happy all day because like looking at everything you've been making is like super exciting. I'm really looking forward to hearing from all of you today about your projects. So we're gonna get started. Today's gonna be a pretty short class. We're just gonna go ahead and talk a little bit about last logistics for those of you who haven't completed the final or have been waiting to submit it. We'll do a showcase for those students who are interested in presenting your work. If you indicated that you are interested, I would still love to see it. So if you change your mind, you'll be able to do that. And I'll just give it on my little soapbox and do my little closing thoughts. And we'll kind of just end the class for the semester minus lab this week. Just closing out everything with the final, late submissions are still open. We're going to keep them open basically until the end of dead week, if not a little bit later. If you do have an extension granted already, we're going to continue to honor those. If you need additional time, please just communicate with your TA and with me. We are more than happy to offer you longer extensions as long as it's within our time frame for submitting final grades. We would much rather you have an opportunity to work on something and finish something that you're proud of, rather than like finish something really, really quickly and submit it in a rush, especially because I know that like COVID cases has been going up and things are just generally getting stressful at the end of the semester. So please just let us know. The final was formally due last night, and if you elected to use your one singular slip day, you can submit it by 11:59 p.m. tonight. But again, if you feel that you need an extension, just tell us and we're happy to do so. Just make sure that you reach out. Submission, as like all of them have been fine so far, just a Figma file in the PDF that you normally submit, plus the form. If you haven't submitted the form, but you did submit the final, please still do so. There's an opportunity to share your work in like a gallery file that we'll continue to use for future semesters. This is a really helpful thing for us because we historically like kind of scramble to ask people if we can share their work for future students. So it's helpful for us to just gather this now so that you can share your work in a way that you are happy with it being presented. So please do submit that form even if you're submitting the final late. Totally fine. We would also really encourage everyone to publish their files to community. This is something that I don't think we actually got to cover in the class. I think we were going to talk about it last week, but we didn't quite get to. I can show you what that process looks like in just a second, but we really encourage you to publish your files as a way to just have a really quick hyperlink to all this work that you've done, and you can share it to anybody in the future if you ever want to write a case study about it, or if you want to share it with other people who you want to work with. Sharing to community is a pretty easy process. I'll just show you what it looks like here. So if you go to the file up here and you go to share, you can go to this tab that says publish to community. If you don't already have, I'm not actually going to publish it, but if you don't already have a community like profile, I think this should prompt you to make one. You can grab a handle. I think Figma's still early enough that you could probably get some variation of your name, which is cool, I guess. And then you can go to publish and it'll show you this little widget where you can put the name, any description, tags, any kind of things here, and then you can publish them. This again is how you've been accessing our homework and any other community files. So yeah, please do feel free to do so if you are like interested in sharing your own work. Well, any questions regarding the final, whether you're in the chat in person? Cool. Christy's in the chat on Zoom, so if you have any questions, you can feel free to private message her on there or into the chat, and you're also more than welcome to message your TA or me on Slack anytime that you need, and we'll try to get back to you as soon as possible. But with that, we're going to go ahead and go into the final showcase. A little round of applause for everyone. Thank you, all of you, for working hard on your finals. I like genuinely was just like, I love looking at them. I feel like everybody has been able to make something that they couldn't make at the beginning of the semester, which I think is basically the hallmark of growing in a class. And I really appreciate all of you actually putting in time into this silly little decal and getting something out of it. So we're going to go ahead and showcase a couple of students. This is the order we'll go in based on order I heard from students. So Bree will start. For those of you who are like physically in the room, we'll come up to this and then we'll present off of this computer. If you are presenting but you are on Zoom, we should be able to screen share and then unmute yourself. So I'm going to go ahead and open this. Oh, okay. Sorry, why did it do that? Okay. Yes. Let's see if I can just open Oh, okay, that works. You can come up. When you come up to present, introduce yourself, name whatever you want to have people know about you, and then feel free to just take it away.
Thank you. Yeah. Hello. I'm Bree. Yeah, nice to see you all. So I decided that for my project, I was really inspired by the prototyping lab, and so I kind of wanted to make that the main feature, as well as like the vector illustrations. For my project, I really wanted to like create a character selection kind of screen in the beginning of a video game. So I guess we'll go ahead and start up the flow. Okay, yeah, so I really wanted to like showcase prototyping animations. So I like created vector illustrations and then did my best to add movement to it, kind of like how you'd imagine like a video game, like character selection kind of screen. So yeah, these are the 3 characters that I made. And yeah, so if you kind of like hover over the select buttons, yeah, it'll show that. And if I click on one of them, it'll be like, oh, should I select this character? Kind of confirmation screen. And then if I click on confirm, it kind of just like pops up with like a little illustration I made. But then you could also restart and then like go through all the different characters, confirm, another illustration, and last one, confirm. But yeah, oh yeah, and then also if you like select on one of them, you can also go back and then it kind of just goes to the restart for the screen. But yeah, that's basically what I made. Very tried to keep like the frames minimal so I could focus more on the prototyping stuff. But yeah, thank you. Yes.
How did you keep the text shy?
Oh yeah, I could show you. Let's see. Oh wait, whoops, what did I do? I did not mean to do that. I'm so sorry. My bad. Should I? Oh, my bad. Sorry about that. Oh, try to go back. Oh wait, this is the flow. Ah, sorry. I didn't use. Oops, that is not how you.
Okay, this should be it.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
I'm so sorry.
No, all good, all good. We're doing our best with a hybrid class. Okay, here you go.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, so I have like an assets page, and this is how I kind of created the the text part. So I put in like I think I used like radial or linear, one of those options for that, and then kind of just made it move, switch to each other. And then if you're interested about the characters, it's kind of what I did. Yeah, it was really tricky trying to get Smart Animate to kind of work. Yeah.
What are these characters?
They were just like original characters that I've had kind of on the back burner for a while. I was like, oh, I'll just bring them into the specific project.
Yeah. Any other questions? Thoughts, comments? I was really noticing back and forth consistency between like.
Ooh, yeah, I can show you that. So I actually looked up a YouTube video on how to do that, like how to keep like passive animations going as the user's interacting with the screen. And apparently if you have a component, you can, I think you can like
show the first thing.
Yeah.
That was
Oh, yes, thank you. Yeah, so if you prototype within the components, you could basically like do the on delay option when you're choosing like when like, yeah, or no. Yeah, you choose the on delay option and then you put it at the minimal like value. So then it'll animate like right after the other. And I would basically just have the two different variants kind of go back and forth to each other. Yeah, to kind of show that passive animation.
That's a feature called interactive components that was out of scope for this class, but we did it. Yeah, they're called interactive components. If you want to read more about it. Do you have a comment?
Yeah, which character would you choose? Ooh, that's a good question. I feel like I really like this character a lot. I feel, yeah, the giant hammer. Yeah.
Hey, yeah, this is a really, really great example of like how to use interactive components and also how to use Smart Animate in a super creative way. I guarantee you, people at Figma were making Smart Animate. They weren't like, yeah, somebody's gonna do this, but it was pulled off extremely well. I think there's a lot of subtle details in here that work really, really well, and I think you've captured like the feeling of it being a video game select screen really, really accurately. So thank you for sharing. Okay, up next, I believe is Melissa. Okay, same deal, just introduce yourself and then talk about it.
Hi, my name is Melissa. I'm a fourth year and I will be graduating after this semester. And I'm really glad I got to take the Figma Decal this semester because I feel like I've learned a lot. It's been really fun. So for my final project, I made basically like a really, really simple game. I used illustration and prototyping for my two Figma skills. And I feel like I should just present it. Okay, just kind of chonky. It might take a while to load. Okay. So this is the starting screen, and then if you hover over new game, it'll start. So I'll just narrate what I wrote. Just another normal day. Eli woke up at the usual hour to get ready for school, except, oh, hold on. Wait, is yours tap or press to go to the next screen?
I don't know.
Okay, I'll do that instead. Oh no, it seems like Eli lost their student ID and they can't go to school without it. Quick, help them find their ID before they're late to class. Click around different parts of Eli's room to look for their student ID. And so it's just a really simple room, and then you can like, if this were like a real game, technically, you like, because like on Figma, if you like click on things where it's not prototyped, it'll show you where you're supposed to click on, but theoretically, you're not supposed to know. So you're supposed to just click around until you like find something that works. Let's do the books. And you click on book. The book is titled The Triangle. Looks brand new. It doesn't say anywhere who the author is. And then, so that's not the ID, so you can keep clicking and keep looking and click on this. A Polaroid photo. A Polaroid of a cat. Eli doesn't have any pets though. Maybe it belongs to a friend. And then you can keep clicking on different parts to find it. Oh, here. An old t-shirt. A plain gray t-shirt. Looks kind of small. There's a weird stain on the bottom. And then you can keep going, basically, you just keep clicking around. And oh, you found it. Eli's student ID was in a drawer. Thanks to you, they won't have to suffer any tardy punishments. And then that's it. So like, it's like a really, really simple, like just click game. I was kind of inspired by like indie RPG games where you kind of just like walk around and you click on shit and then like it tells you what you clicked on and then like you find out more about the character or about like the person you're playing as when you click on things and you like read about their like stuff that they own. Yeah, so like Undertale is like one of the inspirations for this, Monster Prom as well. And then also Omori kind of inspired like me trying to go for like a game-esque vibe. Yeah, and that's it. Yay. Yes.
This is also not the character. This is the character.
Oh, the character? Oh no, I like literally just made it up for this project. I don't, but when I was brainstorming like the premise, because I wanted to make it something that was like easy, like you click on things to find something, but like I was trying to think of something that was like, I was trying to come up with like what the character would lose and what they would look for that's like important to them. And then like I settled on student ID because I was like, oh, that's relevant to like everyone here. Yeah. Yes.
What inspired you as aesthetics?
Like the color scheme or just in general?
I guess kind of in general.
Oh, the color scheme. There's this like, oh my god, there's this anime called Brand New Animal, and it's by Studio Trigger, and the coloring for that animation is like really, really pretty. They use a lot of turquoise and pink. So like in terms of colors, that's what I was inspired by. And then like general style, I'm actually like really new to using vector graphics. I usually do pixel illustrations. So I think I mainly wanted to do something that was like had really clean lines because I'm still like learning how to like make vector lines really intricate. Yeah. And then I think just general, like I really like cute stuff. So I try to make things more like simple, like cute looking. Yes. Oh, okay. Yeah. That's it. Slave.
Thank you.
Oh, I'm a huge fan of like point and click style games, so I really love this. I feel like you did a lot of really interesting, like kind of subtle things as well, like especially with, I'm gonna like skip around with the like overlay blur that you think you had, like a background blur. At one point, I think the way that you did the modals is really, really smart. And like it really does feel like a game. Like with these where the background is blurred just a little bit, you can kind of click out. I think it's all very, very clever. So yeah, thank you so much for sharing. Next is Joshua Choi. All right, I'm gonna open this up. Okay, same deal. Intro, whatever you want to talk about.
Yeah. Yeah, hi everyone. I'm Joshua. Yeah, or I guess I'm a sophomore studying econ, and I just want to learn like a graphic design tool. So that's why I'm here. And yeah, so I did like just like a slide deck template, I guess. But this is like my midpoint check-in. But yeah, so I was just like I don't know. I think like I was really inspired by like the Figma slides, like the ones you guys use. I think it's like really cool, and I didn't even really like think about it. Like, oh, like you could use like Figma for that. And I think it's especially neat with the whole like prototyping thing because you can get like some like pretty like smooth animations. But yeah, the actual thing I made is just like, I guess I did like prototyping and variants. So here you can really see all the variants, like whether that's like all the different kinds of title slides, or also on the left there's just like little like vectors and like the like typeface hierarchy, like with the different like font sizes. So I try to make it like something like pretty like simple and like friendly to use, so like even like my housemates or like friends could like figure it out just by like sort of working with it. Yeah, so it's just like different colors, very like basic. Maybe this one has an image. This one's like table of contents, like a transition slide, yeah, etc., etc. Yeah, and for like the color palette, I just decided on using green since I think for the other homeworks and like assignments, I did like blue and like red and like purple before. So I was just like, oh, I should just like try to work with different kinds of styles. And yeah, so and then I also pieced it together in like a sample deck. Just what's this? Oh yeah, okay, just to like show how like some of it will work, I guess. So yeah. Okay. Yeah, so the actual content is kind of arbitrary. I started just like put whatever words. I think like I wanted to see like how it would like flow when you're actually using it. So yeah, I was just like talking about houseplants because houseplants are green and it's green, you know. So yeah, so agenda, and just like transition, talking about it. I think like a really cool thing you can do in like Figma is like how you can maintain like the sort of like layout. So like between these two, like only the like the middle part changes, and I think that's like a really like neat idea. Yeah. Yeah. Also like the color for Smart Animate in like the background, I think is cool. Yes. Yeah. Oh, this one, this little blob I'm kind of proud of. Like this is something I kind of threw in at the end. Like I was thinking a lot about how to like make it seem like one like long like page, like almost like a web page you scroll to the right. So it's like you see like the whole thing like throughout both. And I was like trying to figure it out for a bit. I think if I like had more time, I would try to like maybe organize my slides a little better and look more into like having like one like super long seamless like transition between all of them. But yeah, it was like pretty fun to do.
I'm curious, did you make this because you like making slide decks or because you don't like it?
I think I'm a little weird. I do kind of enjoy slides. It's kind of a weird interest. But yeah, also I had like a lot of friends who just like feel like it's like always a hassle, and I feel like it can be fun, especially if you have like a cool like template or like even like using like Figma rather than like PowerPoint or your usual like slides and Google Slides. Yeah.
Yeah, I just want to say that I really love this project. I don't think I've seen someone make a slide deck template before. And it's really cool how you make something that's super, super functional, but then you like splash creativity. So like when you like make the process fun, people might not enjoy it or like might not know how to get away from like Google Slides.
Thank you. Sorry, say that again.
Have you thought of listing it to a community?
Oh, I did not. Maybe I'll, yeah, maybe I'll do that. Maybe I should. Yes. Okay. For me, I think I'm kind of biased because it was like the first one I got. But I like the ZZ plant. I think it's just so it's like a Zanzibar gem. Yeah, it's like a plant from like Africa, but it never dies. It's like indestructible. Yeah, I think that's pretty great. Okay.
For those of you who also like slide decking, there used to be a slide deck decal. Had it for one semester. It was created by people who worked on the Figma decal, specifically the person who made the deck for the Figma decal, one of our other friends. Unfortunately, that does not exist anymore. If you want to bring it back, I can put you in touch. And I think this like really exemplifies how making slides in Figma can be a lot more fun than Google Slides. A lot of the stuff with Smart Animate, especially, it's not necessarily like super like extremely complex stuff that you have to like spend hours and hours and hours on. But it adds like a lot of life to the presentation. I think it makes things a lot more visually interesting. So I really appreciate that you went with this kind of idea for your project. So thank you for sharing. Cool. Up next is Hao. Okay, introduce yourself and then feel free to do it.
Yes, so hi everyone, my name is Hao and I'm an exchange student here from Taiwan. And my project is a very typical web design project, but I think it's kind of brings some impact. And so this is a project about redesigning Taiwan Railway web purchase booking websites. Oh, sorry. Okay. And so Taiwan used to have many foreign tourists and before pandemic. And actually, I think after post-pandemic, when Taiwan reopens and many people will come to Taiwan again. So I feel like maybe we can do more better on the original website and then help tourists to navigate it easier. So actually, in the original website, I did some user experience research that I found out the layout is a little bit overcrowded, and also they used a lot of colors and the word is also a little bit big. So it's a little bit hard to see the purpose for the website. And also there's a important thing that I found that there's no booking section when people click in, and so they have to scroll down to find the actual booking place. So this is not actually very intuitive. And also when they try to book the tickets, the whole process is a little bit long and tedious. And I think that it should not be kind of a typical booking website. So I actually also did some competitive analysis with Amtrak and the other railway booking websites, and they are often very simple. So I tried to make a hi-fi redesign like this. Okay. And in this hi-fi prototype, it actually only take four page, I think. So first, when you click in the website, you can actually see the booking section displayed here. And then if you want to see some latest news, then you just can scroll down. And also there's also a business ticket options or tour ticket options. And moving on to the second page, when the passenger enters all the information, they can see the train that matches the time or the destination they want, and then they select it and then choose purchase. And this is just the other page that brings them to the personal information and payment information. And when they confirm the payment, they will see the actual ticket display on this, and also they can choose to bring out or send the email. And also here's the instruction I brought from the original website that they help them to navigate to the railway app and back to the home page. So this is the end of the website redesign.
Okay, great. Thank you. We did it. Yay. Okay, I believe your project should be right here. Yeah, feel free to introduce yourself and to start.
Oh. Okay, there we go. Yeah. So I'm gonna wait for this to type. All right, I guess I could just jump into it. So I basically just created an app, like a Manga Reader, which is kind of similar to Webtoon if anyone's actually ever used it. So I didn't really go hardcore per se, because I didn't really think too much about the planning, just because I already have like my own qualms with these kinds of, I guess, apps or Webtoon and Manga Readers. So just jumping into, I just basically have like the simple prototyping, which is just scrolling through different, I guess, genres of manga and stuff like that. And then obviously you have like your favorites that you go here. And then, so this is just basically the layout that you have if you were to like favorite specific manga book. And then I also have prototyped like a view switch into like the different layouts, just because it makes it easier for you if you understand like where you left off in the specific manga. So I had like the chapters and what genre and basically the title of it. And then so just going back home here. Oh, I also have like the profile, which is just like really, really simple. But going back here, I think the main thing that I spent most of my time on was basically prototyping the scrolling features of when you're going through manga. So for this one specifically, this is just the vertical scroll, which is going through all of these pages. And then, so if you hover over here, it basically tells you what kind of view you are, which in this case we are specifically in the vertical view. And then for those people who are like psychopaths who like to read horizontally, I also prototyped this. And so, yeah, so this is basically just a horizontal path. And maybe you're wondering, like, how did you put all of these manga pages in here? And I was like, I basically spammed the auto layout and hoped that it would work, in which it did, because I didn't want to like place each single individual image of it. So this is how I basically did it using auto layout, and that's basically it. Yeah. Any questions? No. I think I put it like back at home, like Creator Rec. So these are like what I would recommend really here specifically. And then Hell's Paradise is pretty good. Like it's like gory because half the characters die. So like, yeah. Yeah.
You often give some like poems about these sorts of topics. How to make this decision.
Oh, I think like my main qualm though was more so like the viewing pages of it. And so this is like I said, I think if you do horizontal, you're kind of a psychopath, because I feel like I know there's like I still prototyped it because I know specific people like to read it like horizontally, but I think the issue with it is like for this case, I like basically prototyped it to go from left to right. But when you're reading manga, the text goes right to left. But if you were to prototype it like the other way, for example, going from right to left, it's not as intuitive for people who read mainly English, like for a book, because we read from left to right. So going the other way, it's kind of like no matter which way you do it horizontally, it doesn't come intuitively for people who are like primarily English speakers or readers, which is why like, I guess in that sense, I have a qualm with that in case, but like, I'm not sure if that exactly answers the question, but like, I still wanted to have like more of an app that appeals to everyone per se, regardless if I have like certain problems with how the layout may be, but hopefully that answers the question. Yeah. Any more questions? No. Yeah.
Would you actually like create and like put out an app like this? Like considering that probably a lot of people out there that have the same.
I think probably if I can, but I think the whole issue with that is that you have to do deal with copyright laws, and then like there's revenue and things like that. Because I think most people technically would just pirate it, to be honest. Not gonna lie. I think there's a lot of illegitimate websites that you can use, which are technically already out there, which offer both horizontal and vertical views. They're just not very legal per se. Yeah. Yeah.
How did you, or what made you decide to like go for a red as like?
Okay, so I think initially, I'm not sure if I can go back. Yes, I can hopefully. I think initially I wanted to go for something like this per se in terms of like the layout, which is basically most of the colors are brought through like the actual covers of the manga, since a lot of them tend to have like a variety of that. But then I also found this per se, and then I guess the thing is like I wanted some kind of contrast between the manga pages as well as the actual color of the app, just because if you're reading, you kind of want to know where the border is per se. So which is why I ended up with a bright red in that sense. But I think that kind of conflicted with this original layout because most of the color is technically brought by the actual cover. So it's more like a compromise in that sense, just to try not to like add too many colors except for the red, which was meant to just highlight the contrast between the border of the pages when you're scrolling through the manga. Yeah, I think we're good to go.
I was really excited to see someone like tackle horizontal and vertical scrolling in one of their projects. It's not something that's super intuitive in Figma. I think you executed it really, really well. I think those design considerations you talked about earlier too, of like, you think people who use horizontal scrolling are psychopaths, however, you still built it is an important design consideration, a really good exemplification of like the kind of mindset that we want you to go forward with, where if people want something and need it, it's important to build it that way as well. So yeah, thank you so much for sharing. I think the last one we have lined up for today is Meghna. Okay. Hello. Go ahead and open this up and then introduce yourself really quick and then feel free to take it away. If anybody else is interested in presenting, please like drop it in the chat, drop your file link, and we'll try to get it open. Let's go straight to the main page. Okay, well, while it's loading, Hi, my name is Magna. I'm a first year studying mechanical engineering. And I took the Figma class initially because I was just like interested and I wanted to try it out and like why not? And then coincidentally this semester I also joined like a human-centered design club and we've been using Figma the entire semester. So it's kind of funny how it lines up. And I think that also kind of inspired what I did for my final project because for the work that we're doing, we've been doing a lot of like lo-fi, mid-fi, hi-fi prototyping on Figma because we're making like a website for a company. And we've also done like a lot of like mood boarding, like style guides and like brand identity stuff, which is really like interesting how it like ties into what I've been learning. And this class has been super helpful for that. But also just like playing around with like how Figma is like useful in industry. I think it's really, I don't know, important about like website making and like for like people that are like creating new companies and stuff, this is like a great place to like visualize your UI and your graphic design and everything like that. So yeah, I decided to create an app called Nailspo. So I'm someone that loves to like go get my nails done. I literally spent like yesterday. And I didn't get any like designs or anything, but I just like it's like a hobby of mine. So I decided to make an app that kind of combined like Pinterest and like those like beauty apps that you used when you were like 10 on your mom's iPad to like play with like different nail designs and nail shapes. Except I kind of wanted to like upscale it to be something that like I could actually see people like my age using. So I decided to call it Nailspo because it's like a nail inspo kind of play on words kind of thing. And so I can kind of just like walk you through the website as we go. So this is this like main page. It'll be like a mobile app. So this is like what you'd see, and then I just click on the button, and then theoretically you would have like login information, but I didn't put any of that in. So then if you just like put that in, then click like login. I have a few pages that I created, but I only like fully like prototype function for my design page. But this is my home page. It kind of just like welcome, like looking to spice up your nail game. A lot of this app was like based on like finding like nail design inspiration, kind of in like in a Pinterest way, but like specifically for nails and specifically so that if you find something that interests you, you can like try it out and play around with like the design on the design tab that I'm about to show you. So theoretically, you'd be able to scroll through the trending designs and your own saved designs, kind of just like to see what's been going on in your mind recently. And then say you wanted to like create your own design, you could click on this button, or you could use like the bottom nav bar here. And it will take you to the design tab. So this kind of has like a different layout. It has three things in the bottom. One is for like the shape of the nail, one is for the color of the nail, and then one is for the design of the nail. And then you can kind of just like toggle between and like look at different shapes. And then as for like functionality of this design page, there'd be like a million kind of combinations for like every single shape, every single color, and every single design. So I kind of limited that kind of just because this isn't like a coding kind of class, this is more of a design class. So I kind of tried to focus more on that. So even though I would ask you guys to visualize what it would look like, even though this isn't, or how it would function like properly, even though it doesn't fully function, you can still play around with this and like get the idea. And then for colors, you can like scroll between and like play around with those, kind of just like, oh, should I?
There's too much stuff going on my computer.
Got too many colors. Okay, I'll just do it.
Is it still sharing?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. No, you're good. No worries. Okay, yeah. And then I also like did a design page. I had a lot of fun with this one, I'm not gonna lie, kind of just like playing around with like different designs. Also just things that I like wanted to visualize myself and like see if I could make it. And I did these like illustrations on my own one day. And then you can have the option of like no design. And then, so this is where you would theoretically like import designs from like that you saved. and then you can literally upload it onto this, and then you can play with the colors and everything and the shape of the nail and all that stuff. And then theoretically you'd be able to like go to the salon and be like, this is what I want, because I know whenever I go to the salon I have like trouble finding like a good picture for them to actually like go off of. So that was kind of just like a pain point in my life that I wanted to, and like my friends' lives too, like for people that get their nails done often. I feel like that's something I noticed. So then I was like, why not like try to see what I can do about that. So then yeah, I guess that's kind of like mainly what I've created. I also have the explore page here, kind of just like other categories, all just kind of to help you like browse easily. But yeah, so that's my product. And like, I guess I can like briefly show you the like prototyping that I did. I looked at like other beauty apps, but like I said, I didn't want it to be some like kind of like kiddie little like app. So I tried to like upscale it a little bit. So after my low fives, I did some mid fives, and then I kind of really like implemented that when I was choosing my colors in my like high fives, because I know a lot of them are really like pink, but I decided to go with more like warmer, browner, like blushy kind of colors instead, to seem more like refined, I guess, if that makes sense. And I chose Poppins as my fonts. I love Poppins. But yeah, that's my project. Any questions? Yeah.
Oh, what's your favorite nail shape?
Ooh, that's a good one. I love almond. I feel like it's been like coming in recently. I'm a rounded square kind of person, I'm not gonna lie, because almond is like hard to function with almond nails. But I really like them, and I feel like the designs on almonds are really cool, especially with like tip nails. I don't know if you're familiar with those, but yeah. Yeah.
Have you ever gone to the salon illustration?
Yeah, no, no, I actually have never like made my own illustration for nails, which is kind of like what inspired me to do this, because I was like search through Pinterest for like hours trying to find like the right picture, and sometimes it's just never there. So I was like, why not find something where I can like make it myself? But yeah. Yeah. Oh my god, it was pain. I don't know if I can show you, if I can go to like the prototype tab on here, but it did take a while. Shift E, like on the, oh yeah, yeah. And so what's really funny is last night I was like showing my friend this, and I was like, oh my god, I want to show you like how it works. And I created this like new page, and all this got deleted. So I had to redo all the prototyping. Thanks for my lab instructor. I was super, I got that done like super fast because we've been doing a lot of practice on that in our like labs and stuff. But yeah, it was tough. And this isn't even like half of the functionality too. So yeah, that's why I kind of had to narrow it down to its function, but yeah. It's kind of overwhelming when you look at it like this. So yeah. Any other questions? Thank you. God, this is like so scary. Thank you for doing this for this class. Yeah, I really appreciate that this is something that like was a personal hobby of yours as well. Like actually creating something that's based on something that you would actually want to use is always really, really helpful. And I love the way that you talked through. I did get like the vibe of like the old like beauty games and stuff like that. But that it felt a little bit more grown up. Like I think you hit that really, really well. And I'm really excited to see this. Okay, would anybody else like to share? Anyone in the chat on Zoom or in the room right now if you haven't already shared? I'll give like an awkward like 20 seconds of silence to see if anybody's interested. All right, thank you everyone. One more round of applause for everybody who presented today. Thank you all. I know that doing any kind of presentation in class is scary, so I really appreciate you all doing this. I also want to talk about the kind of gallery thing that we talked about in the form that we sent out. It's kind of a last minute thing because another student was like, well, I get to see the work if it didn't come to class. And I was like, great idea. So if you didn't already submit this form that you did with the final submission, please make sure you do so. It leaves an option to submit a couple screenshots of your work plus the name and a little bit of information about it so that we can share this with future students. This is something that the brand design, brand identity, and graphic design decal did that I thought would be interesting for us to do as well. And if you've changed your mind and you would like to now share, please just fill it out again and I'll go ahead and put it in there for you. I'll try to release this by the end of the week so that everyone can see what everyone has been doing. But other than that, everything should be good. Thank you all for sharing. Cool. I'm gonna get on my little soapbox and talk about the class for like 5 minutes and then we'll be done with it for the semester. But I just want to say thank you to everybody in this class for taking the time to apply to it, to do all of these homeworks or do at least a couple of these homeworks, do the midterm, do the final, like actually come out to these classes and interact with your TAs. I really do appreciate it. This class kind of started on a whim. I feel like I've talked about this at length a lot of times, but it was really, really overwhelming, like this semester, to get so many applications. I didn't actually think that many people would be interested in taking a class like this. And every single time, like anyone sends me a message about anything, I'm like I'm interacting with real people, and it really like warms my heart to know that you all care enough to like put time into this class. So thank you for trusting us with this class, with your grades, learning with us this semester. Whether you came to every class or you watched part of one lecture, doesn't matter. I hope that you got to learn something. And this wouldn't have been possible without our amazing staff, some of who are here today. Please give them a little round of applause. The TAs really carry a lot of the actual learning that happens in this class. I hope the labs have been valuable to you and they've always hopefully been there to help you with any kind of questions like Magna just mentioned with Cecilia. And without the TAs, we wouldn't have this class. And so I really, really appreciate every single one of you. And I will buy you those pins eventually. I will get them to you someday. But yeah, that's basically it. Thank you again for all of your support and your care putting in this class. We've been thinking a little bit, and this is probably my last semester doing the course, so we're going to be figuring out what we can do to keep it going in the fall if the TAs are interested and if we're able to get enough momentum for that. So on that note, if you are personally taking this class right now and you are interested in joining as a TA or joining as course staff to help with curriculum, help with teaching, keep an eye out. We'll message some things on Slack. We're going to probably have a team meeting before that to figure out the future of the Figma Decal. But we'd love to have you. All of you are more than qualified because you took the class. So you're more than welcome to become a TA. We'd love to see you on staff again. Cool. Some wrap up. We want to give a heads up. There is lab this Thursday. It is a final lab just to give us feedback and just to kind of like say your goodbyes for the semester, I suppose. But the feedback that you leave can be really valuable to us. The summer is kind of when a lot of the big changes that we are able to make can happen because over the winter break, it's only a couple of weeks. So if this class does happen in the fall, the summer is where we'll do a lot of the like curriculum rewriting, restructuring things, like why we have a Slack and a Notion and the B courses and a Twitch and all of that stuff, figuring out our shit basically to figure out a way to make the class better in the fall. So please do come to that lab if you're able to. If you have any late assignments that you want to make up, please just let me know. I'm happy to work something out with you. If you want to publish to community and you need any help with that, also feel free to reach out in random or any of the channels. But yeah, thank you so much. That's a wrap. Okay. Goodbye, Zoom. Thank you. Are we good on the recording stuff? Huh? Oh, right, it's still recording. Okay, bye.